of the biggest things that I struggle with is my ability to stay focused and stay productive all throughout the day. It's something that I continuously struggle with, and every year it just seems to be this ongoing cycle. So I've been trying my best to combat all of that. I wanted to compile a list of tips that I found to be super helpful when it comes to combating that afternoon slump that hits around lunchtime. I don't know what it is, but the moment after I have lunch, I just get so sluggish and so tired. So these are some things that I found to be really helpful. Cutting down on your to-do list may sound counterintuitive, but trust me, as someone that used to overplan and would write out so many different things to do for the day, I realized how overwhelming and stressful it can be. So what I've started doing is having my focus centered around 3 main tasks for the day. And when you only have 3 tasks for the day, everything seems a lot more manageable. You're still able to feel that intrinsic feeling of pride and accomplishment when you're able to cross off those things on your checklist, and it's so much better than having 10 different things and not being able to accomplish anything because you're feeling so overwhelmed and burdened with such a long list of things to do. Brain fog has been a consistent issue that I've really struggled with, and it wasn't until the beginning of this year that I did a lot more research and looked deeper into it, and I've realized that a lot of my physical health has to do with the way that my brain functions, and I can't just solely rely on being caffeinated and hope that it will help me focus. Most of the time, I want to say half of the time, a lot of my issues come from this really intense brain fog, and I never really realized that there was a term for it. Before, I just thought that, hey, maybe this is just a simple thing that happens because I didn't get enough sleep, but then I realized that there are so many other factors that contribute to it. So now I take vitamin D and fish oil supplements, and of course, everyone's body and what you may need is different, so I definitely recommend consulting your doctor in order to know what you may be deficient in. And once you figure all that out, it may help out your brain fog if that is something that you feel like you consistently experience and it's getting in the way of your productivity. Having a central workspace has done wonders, because when I realized that I establish a certain place in my room that is meant for work, I instantly get into this mindset of like, okay, I'm here to work. So I feel like establishing certain places in your home, in your room, that you will solely only be productive in, it will work wonders. I feel like it's also really important to have not just a physical standard workspace, but to also have an online one. So for me, Idenati has become kind of my online workspace because it is my one central location where I can use to locate all my most visited pages. I get to access my Google Calendar. Once I log on to Idenati, I'm already in that mindset and I already have this drive to get things done. So I'm a huge planner. I have a planner for everything. I like to plan out every aspect of my night. That can be a little bit stressful to do in the morning when you're unsure of how your day is about to go. What I've started doing is planning out things the night before. When you plan out the night before, you take off a lot of the mental burden that may be required the next morning, and you kind of get it over with. You already know what to do, so you really don't waste any time on figuring out what you have to do next. When you feel like you don't have a set schedule, it's a lot easier to waste your time and then not be able to focus because you're thinking about all these other things that you want to do. What I like to do is take a couple of minutes before bed specifically to plan out what I have to do the next morning, and it has worked so well for me. I feel like it's a part of my nighttime routine now, and it's really nice because on top of that, I'll also start reading and doing anything else that I'll do. When you plan out the night before, it's so much easier and it saves you so much time in the morning, and you're able to just focus on getting things done. I am a big believer in taking breaks, and I know that a really popular method that people use to stay focused is using the Pomodoro timer. So if you're not familiar with that, the Pomodoro timer is a way for you to set a little timer, 25 minutes, 50 minutes, however long you would like, and you stay focused for that duration of time. Then after that, you can reward yourself with a little break. And the thing is, I've noticed that when I just kind of sit there and I go on my phone to take a break, sometimes that will turn into like 20 minutes to an hour, and it tends to not be as rewarding. It won't make me feel as good as I think it will. For something a little bit more mentally and physically stimulating, I will actually get up, and this is something that I picked up after interning remotely. I've noticed when I sit in my chair for long bouts of time, it gets really hard for me to focus because I start to feel sluggish, I get tired. When I physically move and do a little exercise, sometimes I'll even go on a walk, and it's really nice because because you get to clear your mind. You don't have to focus on work for a little bit, and it's always really good for your body to just get up and move, because you definitely don't want to be sitting around all day. That is basically it for the tips that I have in this video. If you guys have any tips that you find to be really helpful for you in terms of staying focused, please let us know down in the comments. And as always, feel free to follow us on our Discord, check out Idenati. If you have any video ideas or any piece of content that you would like to see from us, feel free to let us know down below. And as always, we will see you in the next one.